So now the next verses in Mark continue. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. Watch you therefore, for you know not when the master of the house comes, at evening or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. And what I say to you, I say to all, watch. Matthew has something close, but not exactly the same. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord has made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? This is about one faithful and wise servant. Mark didn't have that. Mark had gave authority to his servants and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. So this is a group of people watching for when the Lord returns. Matthew has one faithful and wise servant that the Lord made ruler over his household, and not necessarily to watch, but to do the work of a steward, to rule the house. Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he comes, shall find so doing. Verily I say to you that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. But and if that servant shall say in his heart, My Lord delays his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looks not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites, and there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. That last half, where this wise and faithful steward is given authority, turns and starts doing evil, that's not in Mark. So those two things convince me that this parable in Matthew is actually different from Mark. Luke 21 doesn't have either of these parables. It finishes with, For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch you therefore and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. So I'll fit that in probably at the end, after the two parables. But Luke 12 does have both these parables. That's why I think now is the perfect time to include them, from where I decided not to include them earlier when I put the rest of Luke 12. Beginning at 35, Let your loins be girded about and your lights burning, and you yourselves like to men that wait for their Lord when he will return from the wedding, that when he comes and knocks they may open to him immediately. Blessed are those servants, plural, just like Mark, whom the Lord when he comes shall find watching. Verily I say to you that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. And if he shall come in the second watch, or come in the third watch, and find them so, blessed are those servants. And this know, that if the goodman of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched, and not have permitted his house to be broken through. Oh, that's right. I forgot to read that in Matthew. These short sayings in Luke 39 and 40, the goodman of the house, if he had known when the thief would come, that is in Matthew, right before the parable. So Matthew has the goodman of the house, then the faithful and wise servant. Mark has neither of those, only authority given to the servants. Luke 12 has authority given to the servants, then the goodman of the house, and then Peter asking him, is this parable for us or to all? And Jesus gives the faithful and wise steward, which is the same thing as a servant. So these are actually rather easily combined. I'll go exactly the order that Luke has it. I'll begin with the parable that's similar with Mark. Blessed are those servants, authority is given to the servants, and they're commanded to watch. I'll combine that with Mark. Then the goodman of the house, I'll combine that with Matthew. And then what follows in Matthew and Luke, the faithful and wise steward. The faithful and wise steward. So beginning now with this first parable in Luke 12, let your loins be girded about and your lights burning, and you yourselves like to men that wait for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding, that when he comes and knocks, they may open to him immediately. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he comes, shall find watching. Mark. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants, and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. So I think there's a bit more at the beginning in Luke. Your loins be girded about, and your lights burning. That seems really close to the parable of the 10 virgins, the 5 who kept their lights burning versus the 5 who didn't. So I'm going to save 35 for that parable, and I'll begin with 36. And you yourselves like to men that wait for their Lord. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants. You yourselves like to men that wait for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding. For the Son of Man. Okay, Mark has, for the Son of Man is, all in italics. So it would originally begin, as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants. Luke. You yourselves like to men that wait for their Lord. Maybe I shouldn't save, let your loins be girded about and your lights burning, because that ends in the semicolon and then continues right into, and you yourselves like to men that wait for their Lord. Let your loins be girded about and your lights burning. I kind of need this intro from Mark, even though it's in italics. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, because there's no intro in Luke. Unless I keep let your loins. Okay, I figured it out. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey. That's kind of an introduction. And you yourselves like to men that wait for their Lord. I do think that should be combined with let your loins be girded about, because there's not a period in between them, it's only a semicolon, and 36 by itself doesn't seem to be its own introduction. And you yourselves like to men, that's not really an introduction, that's a following. So what I'm going to start with is let your loins be girded about, and your lights burning, and you yourselves like to men that wait for their Lord. What are they waiting for? When he will return from the wedding. All that needs to be together, but then I can go over to Mark. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants, and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. The entire verse. But before 35, watch therefore, I'm going to end with, and commanded the porter to watch. Back to Luke. That when he comes and knocks, they may open to him immediately. So it's not blended. It's more of just a piece here, a piece there, and then back to Luke, a piece here again. Let your loins be girded about, and your lights burning, and you yourselves like to men that wait for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding. That when he comes, nope, not that when he comes yet. Skipping over to Mark, for the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants, and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. Now back to Luke. That when he comes and knocks, they may open to him immediately. Yeah, that flows really well. I was thinking of combining blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he comes, shall find watching, with gave authority to his servants and to every man his work. But one is just saying what the servants are supposed to do, and the next in Luke is saying they did a good job for doing it, so it actually should not be combined.